Hey, Lonnie, what you doing?
Tony, I'm trying to think about all these new rooms that our customers are bringing to us. They want to put this room on, that room on, and it's a new day.
I'm doing the exact same thing right now. I was trying to figure out how to kind of expand this master bedroom a little bit to give more of a little seating area in there.
That's what I'm saying. I bet there's 40 to 50 different types of rooms people refer to today in our plans. And we're pretty excited about it, actually.
It's a lot of fun.
You guys, I've got the napkins, the brown sugar, the soap. This should last a couple weeks.
Wow, that's impressive.
I hope so. I hope so. I know you got a growing family.
Somebody went to Costco.
You guys won't believe this.
I smell something.
Smell this. You know, there is a whole kitchen back here. I've got a refrigerator. I've got a freezer.
In the pantry?
I have a stove.
That's what I'm talking
in
about.
the pantry.
That's what I'm talking about.
You just really wouldn't believe
It's
this.
amazing. That smells good.
It does smell good. Carmel must have made
Oh my
that.
gosh, did you know there's a full coffee bar in there? Oh my gosh, I really love coffee. And I've also heard that coffee actually extends your life. And so at this point, I think I might be immortal. How are they all coming out of there?
It's huge.
Man, guys, there's every kitchen appliance under the sun. I've got crock pots, I've got blenders, I've got juicers, there's everything back there.
I think you could go bowling in there. It's so big.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
All right, guys, you want some coffee?
Coffee.
I'll tell you, it is
Ooh,
great
here.
stuff.
That
Great
is one of the
stuff.
best coffee bars I've ever seen back there, Izzy. You're a
excited.
great
Thank you, Izzy. Thank you. Hey, welcome to Between the Studs. I'm Lonnie Norris, and this is Tony Ranke, president of Granite Ridge Builders, and this is part of the Granite Ridge Builders custom home building team. We have offices in Fort Wayne and Goshen, and we build in northern Indiana, northwest Ohio, and also parts of southern Michigan, custom homes. And we love to come into your home each week and talk about what we do, the features, the trends, home plans, et cetera, all those things that deal with custom homes. And today I think this big old pantry has something to do with what we're going to talk about, right?
Yeah, the pantry, there's so many different names. We call them a pantry today. They used to be called larders, which actually is short for bread because we used to mainly store bread in them. We also used to call them butler's pantries. We didn't have many appliances in the kitchen. We had everything that was actually in the pantry.
Yeah, my grandmother actually used to have her detached kitchen outside because it would get so hot during the summer that you had to go outside to cook those hot things.
Now I have a question. Have you ever heard of a Hoosier pantry?
That's one I've never heard of.
The Hoosier pantry was invented over 100 years ago, actually in Newcastle, Indiana. Before the kitchen and the pantry had evolved and there was storage, it was a piece of furniture, so a place to store everything. So Hoosier pantry.
So, Tony, what are we going to be talking about today?
I think you guys had a great idea. Why don't we talk about the new living spaces? For instance, we're hearing people talk about piano rooms, music rooms, game rooms, home gyms. What else have you seen that people want you to redesign?
Hearth rooms, for example.
Okay.
I've had a few people asking me about education rooms.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because they're doing more and more schooling at home.
I know something really popular is the children's retreat.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are getting really big.
A lot of people ask about the differences between a utility room, a laundry room, a mud room. What's the difference between them?
Texas basements.
Oh, yeah. How about Florida basements?
I like the fancy ones like boudoir or the evolution of the parlor.
Oh, yeah.
Tech rooms.
Tech rooms. I've got a great one for you. What's the difference between a powder room and a half bath?
The craft room, the hobby room.
Yep.
Do you want to know my favorite?
Yeah.
The snoring room.
Snoring, as in.
Okay.
Yes.
I think the audience has to stay tuned for the snoring room alone. So let's break off onto twos. Let's talk about some of your favorite rooms and some of the ones that our audience might want to redesign in their own homes.
Let's do it.
Actually,
Love your
Hey, you know what?
sweater, Jay.
I do got more coffee. You know what? That was amazing. You are better than this. I think this is amazing. This is good.
You know, Elizabeth, I love talking about new rooms and ideas as they relate to rooms because things are changing. For example, this pantry, one of the reasons why this pantry or pantries are getting larger is because of this open concept.
Very open, yeah. We used to hide our kitchen. It used to be walled in. Now it's really, really open, and we don't want to look at our kitchen appliances like the blender, the toaster. We want it in
Hide
the
it
pantry.
away.
So we're spending more time in there. That's why it needs to be larger. We're adding things to it. We're seeing an extra range, a refrigerator,
Coffee
a well-used
maker.
space.
Right.
Also, when you're entertaining, you can have that in there too, so you don't have, if you've got a range in there, you don't have all your cooking mess out here for your company.
And speaking of entertaining, we have these large islands and peninsulas now in these open kitchens.
The island is very popular, and they just keep getting bigger and bigger. We're doing 4-foot deep islands that are 9 or 10 feet long.
I can land my model airplane on my island.
You
at
sure
home.
can. Now with it open, that's why we're seeing people focus more in the details, like their kitchen sink. It used to just be a sink, but now it's so important
They're
because
so
everyone
beautiful,
sees
right.
it.
And then right off the open kitchen, oftentimes is a hearth room
This could be called a keeping room.
or even an ingle nook.
Yes, what this is, it's a cozy room for people to gather. You can see them from the kitchen. It's all open. You could put a fireplace in there to really make
They're
it
really
cozy.
neat and cozy. I love ingle nooks or hearth rooms. And then also, of course, great rooms. Typically, the great room is open to the open kitchen.
And you know where we got great room from?
They're big.
This was from the castles. When you used to walk in, it was big and open, so we've borrowed that term great room. And on that subject, you know what we're doing a lot with the great room?
You're bringing the ceilings down and you're putting a room kind of up and above it.
You're correct. We're calling that a lot of times the children's retreat. So this is a great space. I've got 2 little kids. It's a great space for them. So you already have that space in your home because of your great room, and you can put their toys up there. You could put desks in there, so it's really popular. I know even you like it.
Yeah, I've got those grandkids, and occasionally it's a place for them to go and play,
And then
I can rest.
in the future, you can repurpose that room.
And you know, Elizabeth, one of the reasons why rooms are getting really, really larger, and there's a variety of rooms that people are talking about, is because they're not that expensive.
You're correct. With interest rates so low, it's very affordable. So for example, take a 15 by 13 room, Lonnie. What would that cost you per month?
You're probably looking at $7,000 or $8,000 to $15,000 if you add that room to your house. And you're looking at literally $50, $60, $70 a month.
What a great investment. It costs that much to go out to dinner.
You're right.
What you looking at there, Tony?
The Granite Ridge Builders website, look at all the pictures that we have on here of different rooms, everything that's going on. It's really your imagination taking place here.
So what would you categorize this room as?
This room, I would definitely look at this as a den. I would look at this as an office. I could look at this even as a library with everything going on with the books and everything behind us.
Oh man, that's one of my favorites is the library. I love it. There's something about books, the smell, the feel of them, but they're not as popular anymore because most people's books are all right here.
And what really this space used to be is this was the formal dining room.
Oh, okay.
Remember, we'd have the place that, you'd have the big furniture, the family would come over once a year to use it, and they really wanted to more utilize this space that was just basically being ignored.
Okay.
And so we're making it more livable space.
And I know it also came from the word parlor, or we used to call it a parlor, which the word means talk, just a place to kind of go and talk.
And also it used to be known as a sitting room, or it used to be a living room. And back in the 1800s, this was the place where they would actually put out dead bodies so that people who wanted to pay their respects could come by and see them, because they didn't really have funeral homes at the time.
And that word parlor got some negativity to it, so then you came more of a drawing, or which comes from withdrawing room. Okay.
And then it turned into the living room, and then it turned into the den, and then it turned into any different space that's out there. This is really a flexible space that can be used in 100 different ways.
Yeah.
My favorite part about this room, though?
What's that?
Don't tell anybody, but I have a hidden door.
Love hidden doors.
Let's get out of here.
That is simply awesome.
I like it.
Elizabeth, last year's most popular room for us was the Parade House, and we built something called a tri-studio. What was that?
Yes, this was so popular. This room was the combination of bedroom, an office, and a workout area. So we had it all in one room with the Murphy bed.
Sure, that was a fun one. Now, that's kind of evolved from something we used to call a sunroom. That's with a lot of light, a lot of windows, and it's usually located somewhere off the nook kitchen.
Last year, I think we built about 60 villa communities. I think 80% of those had that room.
You're correct, we did a lot of sunrooms. And just remember, this room is heated and cooled. It's part of your living space, so it's part of the house.
Sure. Now, what else are we doing that makes the outdoors come in?
Well, what's really popular right now is the covered porch or the screened-in porch.
Sure. We've also done a lot of spa rooms, sauna rooms. We're also doing a lot of outdoor living area with covered pavilions. We're doing much, much more with outdoor kitchens, fireplaces, and of course, the big grills.
And a lot of it is because our world is so crazy. We want a place to relax, have some peace, so those rooms are really popular.
Yeah, so these special rooms are something we would love to talk to everyone about. We're seeing a lot of them. We can design them for your needs.
Elizabeth, speaking of rooms that have evolved, certainly we have to think about the bathroom.
Definitely. Now the master bath, it's always been around, hasn't it?
I remember when there was no master bath. If you had one full bath in your house, you were doing pretty well.
Now I do remember the house I grew up in had a small master bath, maybe 8 by 5.
Right, they used to be about 8 by 5, just a small vanity and a stool and a tub shower unit.
Now they're large. Now in the 90s they were massive, and we've seen people scale back. They still do a large bathroom, just not quite as big.
You're right. We went through that garden tub time when people enjoyed the garden tub. They thought, didn't use it as much as they thought, so they've done away with that. And they're replacing with larger closets, for example, a room off the bathroom.
One other thing we're seeing with the bathroom is a room within the bathroom, and that would be your stool room, where your toilet is.
Right,
So
a lot
it's
of people like that
separate.
privacy. You're right. And then also vanities have evolved in the bathroom. Now we have double vanities. Is very popular. In this particular setting, we have vanities that have actually been separated, and they've been raised up to 36 inches, I believe, for...
A little bit higher. Now probably the biggest talking point is the shower.
Right, that's become a room in itself, another room within the room. 4 foot by 7, even larger, double heads, shower rooms.
And this would be a porcelain tile shower. Now cost, how much would something like that cost you?
They're going to range anywhere from $45,000 to maybe $6,000 depending on the tile that you would use. Beautiful though. A lot of people really like them. A lot of them have no door.
Great idea. You don't have to clean that. Now, talking about that cost, one big consideration with your bathroom is you really want to plan ahead, because if you want to remodel in the future, it's very expensive.
You're right, Elizabeth. Statistics tell us that it costs more than $20,000 to remodel a bath. So you need to think about it in your new home. Forget the remodeling. Come and talk to us about a new home and a new bath that meets your needs. Also, what about flooring in the bathroom?
Well, carpet's a no-go. You know that.
Even indoor, outdoor?
No. Most people will prefer a tile. And when I talk about tile, there's another thing that makes it even more luxurious, because it's kind of a spa, it's a retreat. You can do a heated floor.
And about how much would that cost?
You're probably about $15 a square foot.
So again, this is one room where we have all kinds of options. There's all kinds of shapes and sizes. You need to talk to Granite Ridge Builders. We'll talk to you about your custom bathroom.
We get the fun subject of talking about living spaces, and ours is going to be utility rooms and laundry rooms and mudrooms. Now, I do know a little bit about utility rooms. When we started building houses and we got furnaces, not air conditioners yet, but we also had a little bit of laundry, things like that, but we put all of that in one room, normally inside the house. That was called the utility room. Sometimes the washer dryer could be there. Now you're saying that today we're not using that term, we're calling them?
We're calling them laundry rooms today.
Okay.
And those have come a long way. So back in the late 1930s is when the first washer and dryer that was capable of being used in the home was introduced.
Sure.
They were really noisy, but they needed quick access to plumbing. So typically they actually went in the kitchen at that point in time. After World War II, people got tired of the noise, so they finally moved them down into the basements. Then as homes started to get larger in the 70s and the 80s, and the technology got better, so a little more quiet, we were able to reintroduce them there on the main level.
Okay, now laundry rooms are becoming 10 by 10, 10 by 12 rooms, and they're all by themselves, but now they have, let's say, tables in there, all kinds of fun stuff.
Absolutely. We're cramming as much in there as we can now.
Yeah, in utility rooms, you'd say probably sometimes are in either the garage or basements.
Yeah.
So there are two separate rooms. Now, what about the mudroom? What do you consider a mudroom?
A mudroom for me is it's a barrier between the outside and the inside, and there are any number of things that we can put in a mudroom. We got a perfect example of lockers right behind us that
Sure.
are very popular these days in the mudrooms. We're also doing things like utility tubs to wash off the dogs and make sure they don't track mud through the house.
Sure.
Hence the term mud room.
Mud room. In fact, that's where they originally started in the country. A lot of people were farmers and workers. They would have one room that they would walk into before they got in the main house. It's where all the boots would go, all the coats, gloves, you name it. But it was pretty much of a mud room.
My 9-year-old's so messy, I need a bathtub, I think, in my mud room.
Now, you know what they're called now in Florida, don't you? They're not called mud rooms. They're called Florida basements.
So where'd they come up with that term?
Well, you can't have basements in Florida, so they needed that same utility type room where you just put all the stuff before you get into the main house. So they therefore call them Florida basements.
Makes a ton of
Now, there's
sense.
some other rooms. Let's go talk about
Yeah,
those.
let's take a peek.
Bathrooms are evolving. For instance, right off that mud room and the utility room we were talking about, you have baths, okay? They're evolving big time. So what's going on with some of the baths?
Well, we've created that space where now when you've got open concept and guests can come over, this is the space that they're using. So
Yeah.
they're becoming much more elaborate and ornate. We're even doing things like putting windows in them, which we've never done before.
Sure, and look at the sinks. We're getting vessel sinks, all kinds of fun things. Now, what were some of these called in the past?
I've heard them called guest baths.
Okay.
I've even heard them called powder rooms, but
Okay.
I'm not really sure why.
And half baths, that's another one. Now, powder room, that's an interesting fact. In the 1700s, most people had problems with their wigs, okay? They used to wear those white powdered wigs. Well, that powder only lasted for so long. So they started going into either cloak rooms, which is the closets, and then they used to put toilets in there. That became what we call the powder room, evolved into what we call the guest bath, and then probably now most people say half bath.
Our featured house of the week is in Canyon Bay, on the northwest side of Fort Wayne, just north of Gump Road. It's a very spacious, open concept house. It's got a beautiful master suite with a porcelain tile shower. The sunroom is an added feature just off the nook and kitchen, and it's also even got a cozy fireplace for the evenings. Probably the most unique point about this house, though, is it's got a second staircase to the basement. So not only do you have your traditional staircase, but you also have one from the garage leading to the basement. Come out and see me this Sunday and see what Granite Ridge can do for you. Or, by the way, I'd love to make an appointment with you. Feel free to contact me. It's really close to our office. I can meet you there in 5 minutes.
Hey, Lonnie, when you're talking living spaces, you have to admit, this extra stairway going down from the garage to the basement is awesome.
It is so helpful and handy. And you know, speaking of new rooms, Tony, that are popular, how about garages?
Oh my
Look at
goodness.
garages.
They have evolved so much. Lonnie, we've got 2-car, 3-car, 4-car.
Keep going.
5-car. We just did a 1,600 square foot garage attached to a 1,600 square foot house.
One of the reasons they're so popular now is because they're not that all that expensive.
No, in fact, give me some costs. Let's say I was going from a 2-car to a 3-car. What would you say?
$6,000-$7,000 to add that third bay.
And that probably includes the driveway too.
It sure does. It sure does.
Okay, now what are they doing inside the garage?
We are making them really, really nice. We are insulating them. We are drywalling them. We are painting them. We are trimming them. And look at the floor in this thing.
In fact, this floor is probably more expensive than the kitchen floor.
And for good reason.
what about cabinets? Are we doing
We're
things
putting
with that?
cabinets in our garages.
Garage door
wet
openers
sinks.
are evolving.
It's great.
You know, this is probably the man cave of the year for me, that garage.
I love it. I'm going to build a bigger one. I'd build next time.
Nice shot.
Man, I am horrible at billiards.
You take over that.
Absolutely horrible at this game.
You know, the big thing right now we're talking about is basement, rec room, recreation room, lower levels. A lot of different things can be done in these areas as long as you pre-plan it. Like down here, we have our pool table. We've got the shuffleboard over here for those over the age of 60. We've got the Pop-A-Shot basketball. We have foosball. What am I missing here, Izzy, that we do down in the basements?
Basically, I loved seeing the big arcade games even thrown down here, gaming consoles, board games, whatever it is. Any kind of game room you want to plan for, we can take care of it. The biggest thing is to make sure you plan it ahead of time, though. Some people don't think about the dimensions they actually need.
The other big thing is just pre-planning out what your thought process is. Maybe you actually do part of it unfinished so that you can send the kids down there and they can do hockey and bang the pucks against the cement walls and not have an issue, because really your basement square footage is going to be your least expensive square footage.
It is.
You know, guys, obviously when you talk about rooms and spaces, you've got to talk about the home gym. It's evolved so much in the last 20, 30 years. What are we seeing in gyms now?
Well, it could be really small. Maybe you just have one piece of equipment, so you set up a nice little nook area for it.
Lonnie and I both have ellipticals now because that treadmill just didn't work as well with our knees.
Right.
We're also seeing a lot of weightlifting things. What else?
Got to have the TV in there, Tony.
Oh no, we got to have that. I've seen little rolling equipment.
Rolling
Again, the home gym is absolutely a part of many, many people's lives. Yes, they go to gyms someplace else, but the home gym is still, I think, one of the most popular places, right?
And again, it could be 10 by 10. That's only about $5,000 if you put one on your existing home.
Yeah. Now, I've done 2 reps. I think I'm going to stop it.
I'm at the 3.
Okay, 7, 8. I think I'm done. I quit.
JR, here we are in the theater room. It could be called a screening room. This has been popular over the past few years. It was new about 15 years ago, but this space has changed. Now, what we're seeing now is more of a multi-purpose area. So it's still a theater room, but it's open to the rest of the basement.
There's a lot of changes in technology in the theater room as well. We're going to much larger screens like the one you see behind us. I think this one's up to 120 inches and they go larger than that. We've done, surround sound is pretty common, but now we're doing wireless surround sound so you can move the parts and pieces of the speakers as we go.
So this is very flexible. Also, what's so flexible in this space is the furniture. We used to do the stadium seating, so you didn't see the people around you, you couldn't talk, but here we're set up in a conversation setting, so you can watch a football game like they are here and talk.
Much more engaging, much more interactive than it used to be.
And again, it won't cost you that much per month to have a room like this.
I think let's go enjoy it with these guys.
Okay.
Izzy, I really do enjoy watching the game with a 120-inch TV. Now, we've moved. We're still part of that theater room. However, this is a new room. What are you calling this?
Well, this is the next step in evolution for the theater room. This is your sports bar. This is where you come to serve and be served right inside your own basement.
Absolutely. We can put tables in here. The kids could sit here, eat, watch the game, be a part of the theater room. I love this. Now, this is kind of an extension of what we used to call the wine grotto. About 10, 15 years ago, we were putting in a lot of brick, maybe 6x6 wine grotto areas, and that was really, really popular. Now, I think I like this sports bar concept a little bit better.
Why go out when you've got it all right here?
Oh, no, absolutely. Is that Granite Ridge wine?
It is Granite Ridge wine.
Give him some of that. We've been doing a lot of talking today about different types of special rooms. Well, this one is not really an old room, but this is, I would probably call more of a crafts room. What else would you guys call it?
Tony, the way we have it set up, I think is perfect for a learning room or an education room. There's so many kids now that are getting homeschooled with the 4 monitors that we set up here. You could do it set up for 2 if you only had 2 at home. So there's a lot of different ways you could educate down in the space.
Yeah.
I think it's great for hobbies. You may like to do scrapbooking, you may like to build model airplanes or something of that nature. And you don't need a large space. You could do a 10 by 10 or a 12 by 10, very flexible.
Yeah, and location. Normally, I have seen it off the kitchen, so you're right there when people are cooking. Awesome location. I've heard of people putting it in that what we call Texas basement upstairs above. You can put it in a basement like we did here. A lot of different flex areas that you could use this room, but I think it is a popular room. In fact, I don't know about you, but I kind of like doing this coloring thing, and some of these hobbies aren't that bad.
Oh man, I'm sorry, Izzy. I can't believe you can room with that.
I got the short end of the straw, and now I have to have Tony as my roommate.
That's worse than a train.
I'm telling you, I think I've been having nightmares about trains.
You know, it does bring up an important subject that it's kind of sensitive, but we need to talk about it. Snoring rooms.
Snoring rooms. It's not only something that's kind of a touchy subject, but it's actually now being seen as a luxury.
And give us some stats on why they're becoming popular.
Well, the reason is because, 30% of people over the age of 30 snore, 40% over the age of 40, and over 60% of people say that their significant other snores.
That's incredible. So there are things that we can do in these custom plans to address the problem.
Absolutely. And again, people are using it as a luxury item right now because it's something that a lot of people just need. So what you do is it's just a small room, maybe an 8x8, 9x9 room.
We could do that for $3,000 or $4,000.
Yep, it's not that bad. that. It's not a huge investment, but it really pays off for a great night's sleep.
And we can also use some specialty drywall, which has a membrane in between 2 layers that will act as a soundproofing in those rooms. We can also foam those rooms. We can do things to make that room very, very tight and soundproof.
Yep, and with that soundproof also allows it, if someone wants to stay up and they have late night TV watching habits, or maybe it's even just they stay up reading at night.
There's a lot of reasons why you may need another place to sleep off that master bedroom suite.
Yeah, so how quickly can we make me one so I don't have to have him as my roommate anymore?
Let's do it today. Let's make it happen today.
Guys, I'm going to take a nap over here.
Pardon me, excuse me.
This week's featured home is in Woodlands of Liberty Mills, located in southwest Fort Wayne. This is priced at $264,900 and offers 4 bedrooms, a 3-car garage, and a full unfinished basement. It's also on a wooded lot. If you'd like to view this home, give me a call anytime. I'd love to meet you out there during the day or in the evening. It's also open most Sundays.
Bulk grocery deliveries are my favorite.
Oh man, and I've got the Italian. I'm going to be cooking in that butler's pantry this
Fruits in.
afternoon.
Cereal for a month.
Oh my goodness. I think this is probably one of the most entertaining shows we've done. I think my favorite room was the spa, the sauna room. What was some of yours?
I love the children's retreat, a place for the kids to go and have fun.
Sure.
And I like the billiard room with the bar and the wine grotto and the poker room and everything else that goes with it.
I'm not sure about a favorite. I'm just scared I'm going to end up in a snoring room.
Good luck.
I'm such a fan of technology. I'm just a sucker for the theater room every time.
And I love big pantries because I have always been a man of big taste or good taste.
You know what's so exciting is a lot of what we've talked about today, they're already incorporated into a lot of our model homes and spec homes, so people can come out and see them anytime.
That's right.
We also have them in our floor plans.
We do. Yeah.
And we'd love to talk to people about putting their dreams into their own custom floor plan for exactly the rooms that they need.
So as always, guys, we'd like to thank you for your time and tuning in today. If you'd like to learn a little bit more about who we are, what we do, and why we do what we do so well, please just pick up the phone, give us a call, visit our website below. Even better yet, just come in, meet us, walk in our front door. We'd love to help you design those perfect rooms for you.
All right, let's get all this back into the new pantry. We got to restock. All right, I'm going to light
I'll grab the cereal. After you, Jess.
Thank you.
That'll take care of it for a good week.
Our featured house of the week is in Canyon Bay. It is on the north side of Fort Wayne, on the north side of north side. And if I say north side enough, you'll come see me.
I'm so excited to talk to you today about one of the most beautiful featured homes of the week, located in this is the hardest part for me. I would much rather just sit and talk to somebody.
That's why they want everybody to watch.
Right? I'd rather just sit and do a skit.
Who wants some roasted coffee? I said, I want roast. Get the coffee.
How do you come up with
I want roast and a coffee. That's what I want.
Roast and coffee.
And that was a bad time to mess up because you're trying to.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I mean,
And action.
And now I can't.
oh man.
I was like, he sounds more like a rabbit than a
You ready, Mick?
Okay, you guys ready? So here we go again.
What's that noise? Oh, that's one.
It sounds like a sick whale.
I think he's snoring over there now.
Stepping on his foot.
Lonnie, you're not going to sing again, are you?
You want to make sure, again, if you're going to do the adult video games, if you're
If you're going to do the adult video games, you better. Is that what he said?